say calm down.
Nah.
No, but you can't really see.
Yeah, I can see everything. Let's play it again.
Okay.
Maybe she needs glasses.
This is Judy Justice. Jeremiah Mendoza and Delia Ramos are suing their neighbor, Nicole Cervantes, for damages from a dog attack.
Court, come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Case 3146, Mendoza Ramos versus Cervantes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You live together?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And you are neighbors?
Yes.
You have a home?
Yes.
Yours is the lime green home.
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
About a year.
Do you rent or own?
We own.
How long have you lived in your house?
My entire life, on and off.
The house belongs to whom?
It was my dad's, now it's my brother's.
When you say on and off, have you been married?
No.
You were living out on your own?
Yeah.
And then you came back?
Yes.
When you came back to the house, was your dad home?
No.
He had passed? Mm-hmm. Okay, and he left the house to your brother?
Yes.
Okay. Your brother allows you to stay with him? Mm-hmm. Do you live there full time?
Yes.
What kind of a dog do you have?
A German Shepherd.
And you have a Yorkie?
Turkey, yes.
This is what your case is about, that you had taken the Yorkie out grocery shopping?
No, I had taken my partner to work.
Okay, and you took the dog with you?
Yes.
What date and what time?
On July 31st, 2023, and it was about 7:30 a.m.
And you drove him to work? About how far is that from the house?
About 15 minutes.
Tell me what happened when you came home.
When I came home, I had Teddy in my arms.
Teddy is the dog?
Teddy is a dog. Teddy is, at that time, he was 9 months old, a Yorkie. I had him in my arms before reaching my doorway. He was actually taken.
Walk over.
Can
Would
I
you
walk?
walk over? Yeah,
Yes.
that would be helpful to me.
So I parked right here.
In the front of the
In the
house?
front of my house. I walked through my doorway, my walkway.
You can go closer to there. Show me
Okay.
exactly. You parked in front of your house.
Yes, I
And
was
walked
walking-
towards the front door in the walkway.
Yes, about right here, I felt a very strong presence to the side of me. It was Nicole's German Shepherd. He actually took Teddy from my arms. Teddy was dragged. He was thrown all throughout right here. He was actually dragged all right here as well in front of my lawn. Teddy was yapping. He was, crying for help. At that time, my first instinct reaction was to, try to help my puppy, try to save him. But I could not do that because I was 9 months pregnant. At that time, I'm calling for help. I'm asking, someone please
I want
help
to ask
my
you a
dog.
question. German Shepherd's a very big dog.
Yes.
And so I want you to try to explain to me. You say you were holding Teddy and the German Shepherd came and grabbed the dog.
Yes. So I was holding Teddy like this. He's a puppy. He's very tiny. The German Shepherd actually grabbed him from my arms, pulled him. He was bitten. He was shaken up all on the lawn.
But you were standing?
Yes, I was standing.
Okay, now you can go back.
Okay.
Go ahead. So you were trying to rescue your dog.
Yes. My first instinct reaction was to try to hit the dog or try to move him away. But I was 9 months pregnant. I could not, put myself in that danger or my baby in that danger. I called out for help. What was probably seconds felt like minutes. Nicole came over and grabbed her dog.
Now go back over there and show me when Nicole came out, where she grabbed the dog.
So Nicole was standing right here. I was right here. You can't really see the picture, but I was over here with the German Shepherd was, biting my dog. Nicole came from this way and grabbed him, called out for him, Diego, and pulled him out. By that time, Teddy was already under my car.
That's what And what your lawsuit seeks are the actual punitive damages that you allege you sustained as a result of the dog attack. You do have all of the vet bills.
I do.
Okay. Now, Ms. Cervantes, go over to your house and show me your version of what happened that day.
Okay. Well, first off...
Not first off.
Okay.
Start out with, we know that your dog's outside.
Okay.
And we know that your dog did not have a leash when the dog was outside. So I want you to start at your front door.
Okay, so I was leaving for work.
You were at the front.
We were both inside at the time.
You were both inside?
We were both inside at
Okay,
the time.
so point to the front door.
Right here.
You were both inside, and you opened the door.
Yeah, I was getting ready to leave for work.
Okay, and you opened the door. You weren't taking the dog to work.
No.
And?
And I was leaving.
No, careful.
Okay.
You opened the door to go to work, and the dog ran out of the door.
Yes.
Okay.
Jeremiah Mendoza and Delia Ramos claim their neighbor, Nicole Cervantes, is responsible for damages after her German Shepherd attacked their Yorkie puppy.
Okay, let's make it simple so that I understand it. You opened the door to get out to work, and your dog was now on the front porch, at least for a moment. And then what happened?
Well, their dog was being aggressively barking.
Shh, just a second.
Okay.
When you came out, so I assume you came out to get your dog.
Yeah, I was leaving for work.
Well, if you were leaving for work, you weren't taking the dog with you.
No.
Okay, so if
when
the
I
dog
opened
is
the
now
door-
outside, you have to get the dog back inside.
Yes.
Okay, and her dog was barking. Show me where her dog was when it was barking. Careful. Be very, very careful. Show me on the diagram where the dog was when the dog was barking.
So the dog was...
If you didn't, and see, if you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory, and then you're not made to look foolish.
Yeah.
You did not see what caused the dog to bark initially. Did you see the Yorkie puppy in your neighbor's hands?
No,
Okay.
The dog was... Okay.
So you show me where the dog was. You opened the door. Your dog got out.
So their dog comes into our yard.
Tell me not interested in yesterday.
Okay.
The day before yesterday. That day, your dog got out without a leash. You said her dog was barking. I want you to be very careful and point on that where the dog was when you heard it barking.
They were over here.
Point it. No, that's
this area over here.
Keep going. Keep moving over.
Okay.
So they were in front of their house. Okay. And what did your dog do?
So my dog went over. He did not grab the dog out of
No.
her.
Don't tell me what he didn't do.
Okay.
Don't tell me what he didn't do. Your dog ran over to the front of the house where her dog was.
Okay.
And now you can go back.
Okay.
Your Honor.
I don't want to hear from you
Okay.
yet. Go. So now your dog, which weighs 80 pounds, has run over to the 9-month-old Yorkie puppy that maybe weighs 3 pounds. And what happened?
Well, the dog was barking and being aggressive. My dog, when I got there, my dog had his paws crossed and he was just holding the dog down as if to say, calm down. I grabbed him and I brought him back and put him in the house.
Okay, now I'll see the vet report.
Okay. So I actually have video evidence, if it's possible to show you.
Absolutely.
Of the incident.
Absolutely.
Your Honor, you asked for the vet bills?
Yes.
Well,
Can you put it on the monitor? Oh, that's from your Ring camera.
yes, Your Honor.
Play it again. Did you know this Ring camera video existed? Well, then why would you stand there and lie and be stupid?
He's lying.
Yeah, of course you are. Of course you are. I don't see you running over there and your dog is sitting there with its paws over to protect the little dog. What kind of stupidity is that if you saw this video?
I was right there. I seen it when I grabbed it.
Well, are you telling me that this video has been doctored? Is that what you're telling
No, but
me?
you can't really see.
Yeah, I can see everything. Let's play it again.
Okay.
Maybe she needs glasses. Did you report this incident?
I did.
To whom?
To
Animal control?
Animal control, yes.
Did you get a report?
I did.
May I see it if you have it?
I don't have that. I
Okay.
apologize.
Were you seen by animal control? Mm-hmm. Did they cite your dog?
They
Did you get a letter from them?
No, they basically told me I needed to get my dog license, so I went the next week to get my dog license.
How's Teddy today?
He's doing better.
I'm not seeing a bill. I'm seeing reports.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Did you give me duplicates?
No, if there's multiple, Your Honor, of 101 and some change, then that's just the same.
The same?
It's the same thing, same checkup as when he goes in. It should be different dates, though.
No.
Same
the
one?
invoice date, I have to start all over again, sir. The invoice dates on these for 508.85 are both August 28th, the same amount. So now let's start again. That's...
And we have bank statements as well, Your Honor, as every bill that was paid as well.
Just a second, sir. I'm just reading the bills you gave me, but I'm going to separate the duplicates. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
This is a duplicate, Kevin. Return this to him.
Thank you.
So your vet bills total $31.49.
Not correct, Your Honor.
Well, then you add them up, sir.
Yeah, we have our total amount is $32.52 and 72 cents.
Because there was one that was a duplicate bill that I returned to you.
So what the vet did, I paid $1,000, a certain amount at first, and then when I came back, I paid the rest. Okay. And that was the remainder.
Now, after this incident occurred, did you reach out to Ms. Cervantes about paying this vet bill?
Yes, we did.
How far after the incident?
So after the incident, we did wait a week until my partner came home from work. He was out traveling. So we went with the first bills, the one that you see, the 1,000 plus the 500. We did ask for, this was the first bill. There's going to be several bills after that. She did.
Just a second. Okay. And since it's clear that your dog was the aggressor based on that film, you understand that, despite what you tried to tell me, which was inaccurate.
Okay.
Totally inaccurate and totally dissimilar from what you wrote in your answer to this. So one of them was a lie.
Jeremiah Mendoza and Delia Ramos have accused their neighbor, Nicole Cervantes, of owing for damages after her German Shepherd attacked their Yorkie puppy.
Okay. I was happy to have video proof of what the reality was. Mm-hmm. That will eventually cost you. But you know what happened. Mm-hmm. So why didn't you pay this bill?
At the time, I couldn't afford to. I didn't have the money to do so.
Well, did you say, I'll take care of the bill and I'll pay the vet $50 a month or $100 a month until the bill is paid?
I offered to say maybe we could split it and I could
Why would you want to split it? It's not her fault. She was carrying her dog.
Well, like I said, I didn't have the money to pay it right then and there.
Oh, well. How long was the dog in the hospital?
He was there for that day, but he had to go every 2 to 3 days to get his bandaged.
What kind of work do you do?
Property management.
How much do you get paid a week?
Well, with taxes and everything, about $1,700.
$1,700 a what? A week?
Every 2 weeks.
And your brother allows you to live in the house. Do you pay him rent?
Well, I moved back after my father had passed away. He was taking care of my mom. I moved back to be there with her. So that's where I used my money to help take care of my mom since my dad passed away. And he was the only one working.
How long do you have your dog?
I've had him for 4 years. He's actually registered as my emotional support animal.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Emotional support animals don't attack other dogs. Emotional support animals don't attack people and other dogs. So that's baloney. He became an emotional support animal because you applied over the internet for an emotional support dog? Let me understand this. I've been through this drill a dozen times. You applied through the internet for an emotional dog certificate. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you were given a psychiatrist, allegedly, so that you could tell the psychiatrist why you needed an emotional support dog. Mm-hmm. Correct. That's not a That's a correct. And the psychiatrist, or allegedly, you pay, correct?
No, I didn't pay.
Well, you pay for that service. Who paid for the service?
I didn't. It didn't charge me.
Nah.
Okay.
Now, in what state do you live?
California.
Does you have homeowners insurance?
I have renter's insurance. I don't own the home, so I don't. We have homeowners insurance, but it's not in my name.
That's right, but you have homeowners and you have renters insurance.
Yes.
And you are aware that there are certain breeds of dogs that increase your premiums on your homeowner's insurance.
No, I didn't know that. They didn't mention anything about that to me.
Really interesting. Because usually when you have an emotional support dog, who is the dog emotionally supporting, you or your mother?
Me.
Well, you were going to work without the dog. You mean it only supports you after work?
Well, I don't know. I don't take him to work, no.
So he only supports you when you come home from work?
Yeah, I guess so.
Bunch of scams. You know, I have to tell you, there's a restaurant here that will remain nameless in Los Angeles that finally had the guts to put up a sign that said if you require a service dog, it has to be a service dog in this restaurant for a reason. Bette Midler used to tell an absolutely hysterical story about a service dog that was a Chihuahua. And the punchline was, I'll never forget the punchline, she says, they gave me a Chihuahua as a service dog. That's ridiculous, and actually you know that. Okay, judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,000. We're finished. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This court is adjourned.
It is what it is. It's, I guess we'll just have to go with it.
I'm actually really happy. I think, we got what we deserve.
Yeah, I think it looked worse than it actually was.
Oh, he had a punctured lung. He had actually a wound on his stomach.
Their dog tends to be a little bit more aggressive.
And he actually had a fractured rib as well.
He's super sweet and he's never hurt anybody.
Not at all. There's video proof of it. You could clearly see her German Shepherd grab my tiny Yorkie out of my hands.
Just get along and live peacefully.
Hopefully we could go back to normal. Before the incident happened, we were actually, her mom would bring us cookies. So we hope to be back to the same.
The fact that a person says that they need something to emotionally support them other than pills doesn't suggest that the animal has been trained as an emotional support animal.
Not the same as a service dog, which has very rigid...
Right, which is bred...
For that purpose.
For that purpose.
Sometimes 3 years goes into training.
Trained for that purpose. And so if a service dog, because you are unsighted, or for any other reason is with you in a restaurant, that dog is going to be a safe dog.
And
around
it is
your
safe.
Children or around the elderly who may be unsteady.
But somehow these emotional support animals have followed in the line of the service dog, but without all the same requirements. So as we've seen, you don't know what you're getting.
My problem is really a bigger one because service dogs, are a wonderful asset for people who have legitimate deficiencies and have to rely on an animal for every day. And when people started to abuse those privileges, I like to take my dog on the plane. Can't take my dog on the plane unless it's a service dog. Well, then a whole business crops up on the internet. She's full of baloney when she says she didn't pay any money. Nobody ever sees the dog. Nobody ever sees you except maybe on a Zoom for 2 minutes. And then writes a letter to those, whatever governmental agency where you live gives you a license as an emotional support animal. And ergo, you can take your dog, this German Shepherd who almost ate a Yorkie, on a plane and sit next to you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sit next to it, but could sit next to some unsuspecting person. And the dog has a propensity to be vicious. And that's because people do the wrong thing. A law that was enacted and on the books to help people, there are always bad people who will twist and turn a well-intentioned law to suit their own selfish purposes.
And they don't care about the rest of us.
They don't care about the rest of us, so you got to build more jails. That's the answer. You walked up to her and you punched her.
I don't agree with that.
Are you making any excuses for that?
They had each other's hair.
I'm done with you. Put him out.
Okay, let's roll. Because my child ain't standing here without me.
You can take her if you want.
This is Judy Justice. Sophia Johnson and her husband, Christopher Anderson, are suing Devontae Greer for medical bills, property damage, and lost wages caused by an assault.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please. Uncross your arms.
Judge, case 3183, Johnson Anderson versus Greer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You weren't present during any of the activities that you allege in this petition. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Nor were you.
Correct.
You're her parents.
Correct.
You can sit down. You can step up.
Okay.
And you were not present during any of the activities that are alleged in this petition. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
How are you related to the defendant?
I am her uncle and her guardian.
You can have a seat.
Yes, ma'am.
Stand up. Your first name is?
My first name is Marley.
And yours?
Justice.
How old are you?
I'm 15.
And you?
14.
How long have you known each other?
We met each other this year.
Who was new to the school?
Me.
You were?
Yes.
Just this past semester?
Yes.
Okay. Marley, this petition says that you had some difficulty with the defendant.
Yes, ma'am.
And that she assaulted you, that you were injured, and that was not far from school.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'd like you to keep your voice up and tell me when this happened.
Okay. This all started September 21st in 2023.
December 21st, and I want you to do something. You know, young people know how to listen to each other when they talk fast. Mm-hmm. I am no longer young. You don't have to speak in slow motion, but speak the way I'm speaking.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
Good. December 21st.
Okay, September 21st, 2023, me and Justice took a class together, and it was our last period class. We were taking a test, and our teacher had stepped out the room for a second.
Yep, you're talking fast.
Okay.
Your teacher asked.
No, our teacher had stepped out of class for a second, and me and my friend started talking. When the teacher arrived back in the classroom, she said, "Stop talking to us." We stopped talking, but Justice and her friend were continuing to talking behind us. So my teacher told me to bring her my test, and I was going to receive a 0 for the test.
Okay.
And then I told her that that was not me talking. So my teacher told me to point at who was talking. So I pointed at Justice.
Was Justice talking?
Yes.
You remember this incident?
Yes.
Were you talking? Look at me. If you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory, right? Because one way or another, you see, she's taking down everything, and this is not my first rodeo. So I'm going to ask you a question. After the teacher told them to stop talking, did you continue to talk?
No.
Okay. Did you hear Marley tell the teacher that you were talking?
Yes.
And when Marley told the teacher that you were the one talking, did the teacher ask you if you were the one talking?
No.
What did she do?
I really don't remember what did she do, but...
We're not talking about 5 years ago. We're talking about an important event. Something bad happened to you as a result of this event. What do you mean you don't remember? Look at me. What happened after Marley told the teacher that she wasn't talking, you were?
I got angry, because...
You got angry?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not unreasonable. You got angry because?
She pointed at me and I wasn't talking, and she told the teacher it wasn't me.
So did you tell the teacher it wasn't you?
Yes.
And what did the teacher do? Come on.
I'm trying to think.
Just a second. Has this happened to you before in school?
Yes.
Oh, well, I was going to say, if it hadn't happened to you before, I would say that this is an important event, but it's happened to you before. What did the teacher do with regard to your test?
I don't know. I think she took the test too. She told me I couldn't take it anymore.
Okay. And what did you say to her?
I said, "Don't point at me." And she pointed at me again, and I said something like...
Let me hear what you said to her.
I called her a B word.
Okay, and you said that in class?
Yes.
Okay. And then the class was ultimately over?
Yes.
Tell me what happened after class.
Well, after class, me and Justice got in, it was an altercation, but it was verbal.
In the classroom?
Yes, and our teacher sent an administrator to come get us out of class and talk about it. And
Okay, because you started yelling at each other.
Yes, Your Honor.
In front of your teacher?
Yes.
Okay.
The administrator told us, like, is it a big deal or not? Me and her both agreed it wasn't a big deal. It was dead right there. So then I'm walking to the bus lane. So I was waiting at the bus, and then next thing I know, somebody got my hair and I'm getting punched.
Sophia Johnson and her husband, Christopher Anderson, claimed Devontae Greer owes for damages after his 14-year-old niece attacked their 15-year-old daughter at school.
Who got your hair, did you see?
I didn't know who grabbed my hair because I was turned one way, and when I was turned this way, somebody grabbed my hair and punched me. And then when I turned around, it was Justice.
Was there anybody else there other than you and Justice?
Yes, it was the whole school. It was dismissal, so everybody was going to their buses.
Was anybody around Justice when you saw her and you got punched?
No, because when I turned around, I started defending myself, so everybody moved back, but everybody was recording.
Okay. Justice, have you seen these recordings?
Yes, I seen one.
Well, you want to tell me what happened at the bus stop?
Can I, like, rewind back before?
Of course.
Okay, like, when we talked it out or whatever with the administrator, and I thought we were cool, like, after we got done having, So it was time for dismissal to go out to, like, the buses and stuff. And I see her in the hallway with her friends, and I walked past her, and she stopped me. She was like, "We good or something? Like, we good?" I'm like, "Yes, we good. Like, everything cool." So I'm walking out to the buses or whatever, and...
Look here. Don't go there. Look here. You're walking out to the bus and...
Yeah, and it's like a little spot where people sit to wait for their buses and stuff. But I didn't see her after, like, we said we was good and stuff. So someone came up to me and told me, like, she wanted to fight me and all of this. And I'm like, we just squashed it in, like, the class and we talked about it. So I don't understand why she go back and, like... So I, like, walked up to her, I tapped her, I asked her, I'm like...
No, you walked up to her.
Yeah, it wasn't like trying to check her or anything. It was just like asking her, did she like say all that stuff? Like, I didn't get mad, get rude or nothing. I asked her respectfully, like, did she say anything, like any of that stuff? She said yes. So she turned around and then I forgot what I said. I think I was like, you said I didn't want to fight you or nothing, so do you want to fight me now? Because you said I didn't want to fight you. So I'm asking you, do you want to fight? So she put her hand in my face. She turned around, she said, girl. So, like, I felt like I should defend myself. She put her hand in my face.
This is your guardian, right?
Yes.
He's going to stand up next to you. Very careful what you tell me because there's video of it all. I want you to show me what you mean when you say she put her hand in your face. Show me.
Like, she did this and turned.
Now you can sit down.
Yes, ma'am.
She put her hand up and she turned around to walk in the other direction, like this. I want to know where you hit her.
In her head.
Okay. Now, after you hit her in her head, did you start to fight with each other?
Yes, I
You started to fight?
Yes.
And people started to videotape the fight?
Yes.
Did you have any friends there?
I was standing by my friend, but then when she walked up and when she had hit me, she moved away, and it was just us two fighting, and then the crowd formed, and it was just like everybody was there.
Did you hit her?
Yes.
How many times?
We was fighting a long time.
Did you hit her?
Yes.
How many times?
I can't count.
Have you ever been in a fight before?
Yes.
How many times?
Once.
The same year?
No.
Year before?
Middle school.
Ever been in a fight before?
Yes.
When?
Probably like middle school.
Your mother?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever get into a fight?
No, nothing.
Physical?
No, ma'am.
Sit down. Did you ever get into a physical fight with anybody?
Negative.
Ever get into a fight, Whitney? I'm just curious.
No.
You know how bizarre this sounds to me? Really bizarre. Now I'll see the video. Who's in the white? I can hardly tell.
That's justice. That's being attacked by the adult officer.
And you're in the dark top, fighting with the officer. Right? Well, he's trying to pull you off and you're not letting go. That's what I see. Am I seeing that wrong?
Justice is holding her hair.
Just a second.
They had each other's hair.
By the way, I just thought maybe I misheard that.
Ma'am?
Did you say something about the officer attacking her?
There was an officer in the video punching Justice in her head. Yes, ma'am, I did say that. Yes, there is.
Yeah, just a second. Are you making any excuses for that behavior?
I'm saying that a grown adult has no right to punch a child, so that's not an excuse.
They're killing each other.
I'm not a fool, but
They're killing each other.
You as an adult would punch
Just a second.
child.
I would never have a child that was involved in that kind of behavior.
Well,
That's what you should, just a second. That's what you should be dealing with. You too. That's what you should be dealing with. Children.
There's a bullying situation. You only can take so much bullying. When you're a new student and you don't know anybody in the school, you just started a week or two prior to that, yeah.
Lost. Didn't you understand? I'm not excusing the fight, but there was no fight until the punch. Do you understand that? Forget bullying, there was no fight until the punch.
There's ways to be attacked without and feel offended, and people are coming into your private, personal space without them throwing a blow at you. So I don't agree with that.
Well, I don't give a rat's behind what you agree with, sir. Okay. I'm going to tell you that she didn't go into her space. She went into her space. She walked up to the bus stop.
Can you show me that in the video? They were both at the bus stop. She touches the bus just as well.
Sir, why don't you listen to what your ward told me?
Sophia Johnson and her husband, Christopher Anderson, are accusing Devontae Greer's 14-year-old niece of starting a fight by punching their 15-year-old daughter at school.
She told me that girls had come and yada, yada, yada in her ear, that she was saying nasty stuff about her.
Okay.
That sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me.
Okay.
Your ward told me that she went to where she was.
No, she said that there was a coincidence and they ended in the same spot. Those are her exact
Lost.
words. Those are her exact words, verbatim.
You're lost. You're lost. I don't know who made you her guardian. I don't know who made you her guardian. Some fool.
I wish we could rewind, because that's what she said. We ended in the same space by coincidence, because they both catch the bus.
I'm walking out to the buses or whatever, but I didn't see her after, and we said we were good and stuff. So someone came up to me and said everything she was saying. She wanted to fight me, all of this. And I'm like, we just squashed it in class and we talked about it. So I don't understand why she would go back and so I see her outside. So I walked up to her, tapped her.
I walked up to her and?
It was asking her, did you say all that stuff when we just squashed it? I asked her. I didn't get mad or rude or nothing. I was like, you said you didn't want to fight me. Do you want to fight? She put her hand in my face and said, girl. So I felt like I should defend myself. She put her hand in my face.
I never put my hand in her face.
Who took that video?
It was posted on Instagram and they sent it to me. So that's how I got it.
Do you know who posted it on Instagram? It has to have
I don't know exact who, but it was one of her friends.
Is it one of your friends who posted it on Instagram?
Well, it was a lot of people reposting the video. That's one of my friends that were reposting the video, but the account, we never knew who actually posted the video.
Your Honor, if I may?
Sure, you can.
If you look at the beginning of the video, whoever's recording, knowing what's going to happen because it's a little boy walking by, she's like, move, move. You see Marley is literally on her phone with her book bag, her purse.
I didn't see that.
Yes, ma'am. So at the beginning, you can see the
Well,
girl
just a second. Can we go back and slow motion that?
standing behind Marley and just attack her.
Where does she pull her?
Shh. Oh, just a second. Can we slow motion that again, please? Justice, You see that back and long black pants, long black hair, and the white shirt. Is that you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we're going to do it in slow motion. Slow. So you're walking slow, slow, slow. You want to see that again, Justice?
I seen it.
Just a second.
You don't see Marley
Just a
in the
second.
video at all.
No, that looks to me as if you walked up to her and your hand came back and you punched her. That's what I see.
What I said I did.
No, I don't want to hear from you. I'm done with you. You want to do that again? Let's do it slow motion again. You're walking up to her. And as you're walking up to her, you pull your right arm back and punch her. That's what that looks like.
I never said I didn't do that. I told you
Okay.
exactly.
I didn't see any. Girl, did you talk to me? Did you really want to fight me? I want to fight you. Hand in your face. I didn't see any of that, Justice. I just saw you walking up to her, and as you were walking up to her, pulling your hand back and punching her. That's what that video shows. Do you want to see it again?
I seen it multiple times.
Well, you can imagine whatever you want. It's not fantasy land. That's what that shows. Not all this palaver before that you've sold him on.
She didn't sell me.
Kevin, put him out.
This way, sir.
Put him out.
You can come right with me.
Put him out. You can
'Cause I'm
take
not
her if you
standing here
want.
without
You
my
can
child.
take her if you want.
Okay, let's roll. Because my child ain't standing here without me.
Very good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $10,000. We're done.
Thank you.
This court is adjourned.
After seeing the video only depicts part of the truth. The conversation was actually had before that.
The video was clear as day that she hit Marley. Marley was engaged in her phone, in her own world, and she came behind her and attacked her.
Well, this was a classic case of a bully beatdown. Someone who picks on you, intimidates you, and then when they get those hands or they take that beat down, then they want to come to the courts and play all those games.
It was no bullying.
I would say violence is not the answer, but if somebody picking on you and you got to give them them hands, hey, so be it.
Keep your hands to yourself.
You know, I sat in the family court long enough to know that with that kind of guardian, even if she was redeemable at her young age, it's going to be a long haul. Because the only thing that he found offensive was what he said the officer was behaving improperly. I don't remember what he said, punched her.
Yeah.
There was nothing in that video that suggested that the two officers was trying to do anything but pull these two girls apart, and they wouldn't let go.
Putting themselves in harm's way, and now a mob of students who are recording, who are hyped up, all because of your child's actions. So maybe you focus on that instead of the actions of others who are doing nothing more than try to discipline your child because they didn't know how to act.
Right. And there was no question when you watched that in slow motion that she came up to her and sucker punched her from behind. Well, that has to stop.
It's crazy.
She really got hurt. And the person who was supposed to give this young lady sound advice is blabbering in her ear that she was a victim. She was a victim because she's just in the school and she was being bullied. Well, that's not what the video showed. That wasn't the facts. And fortunately, with everybody walking around with a camera, you can actually record events.
Yeah, but sadly, that doesn't help the victim mentality that's being shoved down her throat by her own guardian.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But fortunately,
it helps our job.
It helps our job to have it
on video.
On video. She had you falsely arrested. She said that you were harassing her.
Yes, ma'am.
They arrested you for DUI, not for harassing her.
Based on her lie.
It was the truth. I don't care. You could do this all you like. You were arrested because you were driving drunk.
I was already parked.
I don't care.
This is Judy Justice. Tracy Tart is suing Cheryl Suttles for attorney fees, bail money, and lost wages from a false arrest.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Case 3185, Tart versus Settle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Tart, it is your claim that the defendant had you falsely arrested.
Yes, ma'am.
And you want to be compensated for that.
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
Okay. The defendant denies she had you falsely arrested. She's got a counterclaim that I'm not really serious about. So I'm going to concentrate on your claim. You lived in the same complex. What kind of complex was it?
Well, ma'am, she did not live there. I lived in a building where you had to be 55 or older.
How long had you lived there, Mr. Tart?
3 years.
Are you still there?
No, ma'am. I live in Waldorf, Maryland now.
Are you a working person?
I'm a master in the study of law graduate, about to apply for law school.
Where?
UDC, University District of Columbia.
Who supports you?
I'm on full VA disability.
How old are you?
59.
So you receive benefits from the VA. How much do you receive from the VA?
$3,700 per month.
And who's paying for your law school education?
Well, it will be a scholarship, hopefully, and student loans. I'm not taking my LSAT yet, man. I'm preparing to take my LSAT.
You know, I always think that hope springs eternal, sir, but if you're taking your LSAT at 59, and if you get a positive score on your LSAT, where did you graduate from college?
Hamlin University, St. Paul, Minnesota.
How long did you attend that university?
2 years. Also graduated from Century College, same time, 2022.
What is that? Is that an online school?
That is a community college. That's a film and video graduate.
And how did that prepare you to take the LSATs?
Well, it did not prepare me. My master in the study of law was taught by all attorneys, legal research and writing, immigration law, bankruptcy law, contract law. Because I'm familiar with the topics, it will make it easier for me once I'm eligible and once I'm able.
You're telling that story to this face? I'm just asking you.
Well, yes, ma'am. A couple of things they didn't teach me in college. Because I'm in a protected class, and I'm also a disabled veteran, I get preferences.
Well, that's okay. But what I'm suggesting to you, sir, is, you know, never too late. Grandma Moses took up painting when she was 75 years old, and I'm still working, and I'm 81. And not as sharp as I once was, but I'm once as sharp as I once was. And I'm telling you to start to take your LSATs after a marginal college experience without any emphasis on the law at age 59, which means that you won't be, if you're lucky, and get admitted to law school. And if you're lucky and pass your courses, law school's 3 years, then you've got to study for the bar. Then you've got to pass the bar. Then you've got to go through the character committee. So by the time you would be able to work, you would be 67. If everything falls into place for you, and I'm just suggesting to you that all that money, that scholarship money and public money, might be best off served for somebody who's 20, not 65. You know, some people are retired on full veterans benefits, and they say, I still need something to keep me busy. Well, if you still need something to keep you busy, maybe you should find gardening. Maybe you should take up something else other than spending a $100,000 education on something that you'll never use. Okay, I'm finished with my speech, Mr. Tart. This is what the case is about. You're suing the defendant because you say she had you falsely arrested. She said that you were harassing her. Police arrested you, and you had lawyers' fees, etc. Ultimately, the case against you was over. I don't know how it was over. You're going to show me. The defendant says that you were a problem, that you were constantly drunk, that you did, in fact, harass her. And your arrest was not about harassment. It was for being publicly intoxicated. That's what you say in your answer. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You say that this happened in August of 2022.
Yes, ma'am.
August what?
August 22nd.
Okay, you have something to demonstrate that to me?
I do. I'll have the police report.
I'd like to see it. Was this the only time, sir, that you were arrested or taken into custody in the state of Minnesota?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it is true that you called the police because the plaintiff, you say, was harassing you and appeared to be under the influence of alcohol.
Yes, I did.
You were arrested that day.
Yes, ma'am.
You were not arrested for harassment, sir. You were arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol, for a DUI.
Based on her lie.
Doesn't matter. It wasn't a lie, Mr. Tart. It was the truth. because when the police stopped you as a result of her complaint that you appeared to be intoxicated and you were harassing her, and according to the first officer, you appeared to be under the influence of alcohol. You were slurring your words, your gait was unsteady, your eyes were glassy. According to the police report, you did a breathalyzer. The legal limit is .08. Your reading was a 17, and the officers then informed you that they were placing you under arrest on suspicion of driving while under the influence of alcohol. That's what you were arrested for, and you were under the influence of alcohol.
Tracy Tart claims Cheryl Suttles owes for the cost of having him falsely arrested. Cheryl is countersuing for harassment and invasion of privacy.
Okay, she didn't say you came after her with a knife, with a hammer, with a gun, that you threatened to hit her or do anything else. She said you appeared to be drunk and you were harassing her. Well, you were drunk. Just a second. You were drunk.
I have a video, which I'd love for you to see.
Just a second. All I telling you is your entire lawsuit is based upon the fact you're suing her for filing a false report. The false report was that you were drunk and harassing her. The police confirmed the fact when they stopped you that you were drunk. That's not a false police report, sir.
Well, yes, it was, ma'am. I wasn't. I had already stopped. The police didn't pull me over and stop me. I was already parked. This video, which I would love for you to see.
Listen to me. The police car followed you into the parking lot.
Well, I just went around the block.
They stopped you as you were getting out of your car. And the police officer said, look, you look a little tipsy to me, you look a little woozy to me. He saw you driving with an alcohol level almost 3 times the legal limit. I don't care, you could do this all you like. You were arrested because you were driving drunk.
Those charges have been dismissed, ma'am.
Listen,
okay.
I don't care. You may have hired a lawyer, and your lawyer may have said, listen, this is a disabled vet. This is his first offense. Let's give him a clean record. I have no idea what he said. The police stopped you, ultimately gave you a breathalyzer, found you were 3 times over the legal limit, and arrested you for DUI, not for harassing her.
No, based on her lie.
It wasn't a lie, it was the truth.
If you look at this video, you would see this.
No, it wasn't a lie. It was the truth. I don't even have to look at the video.
Yes, you need to.
No, I don't. I'm telling you I don't.
Say one word
You
to
can't.
Her. And she threatened to kill. Well, I was going to die, ma'am. I am diagnosed with a significant, serious, recognized disease by the Department of Veterans Affairs. The flight or fight syndrome occurred to me. There was no criminal intent for me to jump in my vehicle to leave. When she has told me that I was going to die, that is when I left and drove around the block. If she hadn't have been harassing me, I am diagnosed.
If she wouldn't have been harassing you, you wouldn't have been drinking before. Just a second. Just listen to what you're saying. Listen to what I'm saying to you, sir. You haven't been to law school yet. You haven't passed a bar yet. You haven't been admitted to practice law yet. So what I'm telling you is as follows. She made a complaint based upon her observation. Her observation was you were drunk. You were arrested for DUI, and you were driving
drunk. And they
drunk.
were being dropped.
You have no case. Your case is over. You were arrested for DUI. Stop. You were arrested for DUI. You were drunk. I don't know when the last time is that you had a drink, but certainly you had a drink on August 22nd and got behind the wheel of a car. Your case is dismissed. We're going to get to your counterclaim. Likewise.
Thank you.
It's nonsense. Goodbye.
This court is adjourned.
Well, I think it's a rotten decision.
Well, I was concerned about, I'm sitting in the parking lot for myself if he hits my car backing up or pulling in forward.
She threatened to take my life. I didn't know she had a gun or nothing.
I'm a Christian person and I don't have time for killing anybody.
She wished that I would have came over to her and I would die that day. You can't say that to just anybody.
He got what he deserved.
That case was actually made so easy by the police report that he had.
I could tell the time that you were taking to read it, I knew there had to be something good in there.
You know, he wasn't arrested for harassing her.
Yeah.
He was arrested
for drunk driving.
For drunk driving. And he was driving drunk.
And he was suing her because he was mad that she was the reason he got caught. But people have to realize that is not a cause of action. Maybe once he goes to law school, he'll learn that.
Oh, that's very true. Now you're served with a restraining order by your mother.
Yes.
And in retaliation for that, she slashed your tires.
Right. She admitted to carrying the knife, Your Honor.
I can't ask her whether or not she slashed your tires. She's going to say no, right?
Yes.
She's going to get caught eventually. Right now, she's been clever, but she's not that clever.
This is Judy Justice. Jasmine Brandley is suing her future stepdaughter, Nyaria Williams, for defamation and the cost of 3 tires.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. How are you? Case number 3084, Brandley versus Williams.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Brandley, you are in a relationship with the defendant's mother.
That is correct.
For how long?
Over a year now.
I assume that when you met the defendant's mother, the defendant was living with her mom.
That's correct, Your Honor.
It is your claim that at some point the defendant and you developed an acrimonious relationship, and that as a result of that, she was asked to leave the home, and in retaliation for that, she slashed your tires.
She was never asked to leave the home. She voluntarily decided she was going to leave the home.
Let's say that that's a given, but it is your claim that as a result of leaving the home, and there's no question she left the home because you were there.
We weren't sure exactly what the reason was. She didn't make a reason as to why she was leaving the home.
She left, and it is your claim that after she left, she slashed 3 of your tires.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Ms. Williams says she did not slash your tires, but that she still has property in the house that she shared with her mother before the 2 of you were in a relationship. Do you live together now?
Yes, ma'am.
When did the 2 of you move in together?
I moved into the home, I want to say the exact time frame was around April of 2023.
And when did you move out of the home, Ms. Williams?
I moved out June 28th of 2023.
So a couple of months later?
Yes.
Tell me the circumstances surrounding your leaving the home.
My mother texted me and said her girlfriend was feeling uncomfortable and she wanted to focus on her and her relationship, and I needed to go and focus on myself.
You have that email. I'd like to see it. Kevin?
Okay, so it's right there.
So you had this discussion with your mother, and what I'm gathering is that you and the plaintiff started to have some nasty texts back and forth.
There was no back and forth, Your Honor. She was just texting me nasty.
And you have those texts?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I'd like to take a look at them.
And she also had
your
other people
response
texting
to
me.
your mother is that bum paying bills?
Yes.
Okay. And then your mother tells you right now, time for you to go.
Yes.
And then you say, okay, I just want to grab my TV and bear.
Yeah, I want to at least grab that for tonight, and then I would have came back and got the
Just
rest
to say, well, that's what I need. Need to unlock the door so I can grab my TV and bear. I assume that's a teddy bear, not an animal?
No, it's a bear.
Okay, let's see the text.
And I never responded to these texts, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
These are just phone messages. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. She put my number on social media, and people were texting me asking for sexual favors.
Just a second.
No problem, Your Honor.
You'll get there.
I apologize.
You'll get there.
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
so you moved out.
Yes.
Now tell me about the tires.
She was moving out, had her things. We know she carries a knife. She's always showing it and bragging
Just a
about
second.
it.
She acknowledges she came back to the house with a knife. She acknowledges that. Is that correct?
Yes.
What kind of a knife?
It's a small pocket knife.
Show me. This I don't understand.
Yeah. Oh,
I want you to show me. Is it this size
it's
when it's
big.
opened? So
Yes.
it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, just a little bit bigger than that.
It's a little.
Just a small one that you can fit in your pocket. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty big knife. Okay, so you came back to get your things, and you had the knife with you.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So we did not confront her while she was getting her things. We looked out the window. We could see her carrying the bags as she was dragging them down the walkway past the apartment building. That was maybe about 1 in the morning. We woke up for work, I say maybe around 6:45 time frame. We go outside, the driver's side tire was completely flattened, and the left side passenger front and the rear passenger side tire, they both had tire slashes in them, and we had to get them all three replaced. They were unrepairable due to the puncture in those tires, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I have pictures and documentation for that as well.
The issue is not whether your tires were punctured, but whether you have proof that the defendant did it. The tires were fine when you went to sleep.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the defendant came after midnight.
Yes, ma'am.
Collected her things in suitcases?
Mostly like bags, not really suitcases.
How did you get into the house that night? It's not an answer. Did you have a key?
Yes.
Okay. And nobody had changed the locks?
They changed it the next day.
Nobody had changed the locks on you then?
Then, no.
So you were able to come and get things?
Yes.
So now you have to give me proof that she slashed your tires. You can imagine that she did, but what evidence do you have that she slashed your tires?
Your Honor, no one knows, other than the family, that I was living with them at the time in that area. I have no outstanding confrontational beef. I don't have any problems with
anybody else?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
That's circumstantial, but insufficient in the law that she's the only one that you had a beef with, the fact that she was there. It's not enough evidence for any court, even a court where the quantum of proof is little, that she did in fact slash your tires. The evidence that you have is that you don't have a beef with anybody else, correct?
I didn't have any negative situation.
And you couldn't think of anybody else who would want to do that, and she was there in the vicinity that night?
Within the time frame, yes, ma'am, Your Honor. She left maybe around 1 o'clock. By 6 in the morning, the tires were slashed.
Well, you weren't out at 1 o'clock in the morning. You went to sleep at what time?
Maybe around 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m.
And then you got up at 6?
Yes, ma'am.
But you hadn't been outside. When did you park the car?
I'm not sure the exact time, Your Honor.
Was it before dinner or after dinner?
Probably before dinner.
And you have dinner at what time?
More than likely, maybe around 10:45 p.m.
10:45?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so your car was parked before 10 o'clock, and the next time you saw it was 6 in the morning. Okay, well, that's a big window. I can't ask her whether or not she slashed your tires. She's going to say no, right?
Jasmine Brandley is suing her future stepdaughter, Nairia Williams, for defamation and the cost of 3 tires. Nairia is countersuing Jasmine for her belongings and lost wages.
I can't ask her whether or not she slashed your tires. She's going to say no, right?
Even if you look at the tires, you can tell the 3, only 1 is flat. If they all got slashed at the same time, they all would be flat.
If it's 1 or 3. That's not the point.
I did not know.
She told others that she did admit to it.
I did not.
Oh, just a second. Who did she admit it to?
Her coworkers, also.
Oh, no.
Friends.
Do you have a coworker here? All I need is a witness.
My witness can confirm.
That she admitted it to them?
To other coworkers as well. They work at the same location, Your Honor.
Did your witness, did she admit to slashing the tires to your witness?
She's admitted to both me and my witness that she would do harm to us and to me.
Is this your witness?
Yes, ma'am. This is my fiance.
Your last name is?
Williams.
Miss Williams, this is your daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
You work at the same place?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did your daughter admit to you anything about the tire incident?
No.
Okay, sit down. Do you have a police report?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I'd like to see the police report.
Yes, ma'am.
Did the police interview any witnesses?
No, ma'am. They said I had to file domestic violence restraining order, which I did.
Was that granted?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
I'd like to see that, too.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, you got a temporary restraining order you got on your own. She wasn't present when you first got it.
Correct.
Did you go back for a final hearing?
She never appeared.
So the answer is you went back.
3 times, Your Honor.
And she didn't appear?
She never appeared.
So it was granted on default?
Yes, ma'am.
I never received anything about going to court. The only paperwork they gave me was about the tires. They never presented me with anything.
What I have to tell you is this. Currently, there is a restraining order, that's what she says, against you. And if what you're telling me is you were not properly served, I would move to vacate that order because you're at risk if you don't. I don't actually believe that you weren't notified to come to court on 3 separate occasions. I think that you just decided to be a smart aleck and not go.
No, I really didn't know.
Really?
I knew my mother had one against me because the cop did mention that when he dropped the paper off.
When your mother filed a restraining order against you, then there was a return date. Did you go to court?
No,
is not an answer.
Oh,
Did you go to court? Now you're served with a restraining order by your mother, and you got a date. You ignored it.
No, they pushed it back. I didn't get a new court date. That's
because of my paychecks that did go through at the time after everything happened, because I did continue working.
No, these were bad checks. These were the bad checks. They're owed $3,600.
Yes, but I did put a little bit of money in.
Well, how much?
Only one of my checks went in, which was probably not even worth $100.
Well, I'm not interested in it.
It was
I'm not interested in it.
$62 to be exact. Sorry.
I'm not interested in it. Virtually no money, with the exception of perhaps one paycheck, which amounted to about $100, was put in by you.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So the question is whether I believe that, A, you knew or should have known that these were bad checks. And I think you're a pretty smart girl, given your father's history. He gives you these checks, 2 in one day, one's for $1,200, one's for $600, one's for $300. You say, Dad, where'd you get this money from? And if you're putting your money into the bank, your money from work, which is a very good thing, that's fine, but I'm going to save up that money. I'm not going to buy electronics. I'm not going to buy anything else for the house. What I'm going to do is save that money, or at least see what happens with it. So I would have said to myself, this doesn't look right. I don't know, or I have to ask my father, who's writing all these checks. She's somebody he works for, or is it somebody whose checks he stole? Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Great. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,170. Thank you very much. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
What they did to us was way worse than what I did to them.
It was very hurtful, and I'm still in the stress mode about it.
They took all of our electronics, our TVs, my PlayStation, laptops, and speakers.
The truth is, I have a video showing that my niece actually voluntarily gave me all the electronics to be taken care of. She said she was going to do it, and she wasn't going to do it, which is the reason why I took the items to have everything taken care of from my mom.
My thing is, the property that she took, we bought that a couple of years back. And that shouldn't have nothing to do with what's going on now.
We're not happy people. And, to be honest with you, because of the fact that they did our mother like this, we don't have anything to do with them.
Well, all I can say is she'll never see me or my child again. And that's generations going out of her life over some petty stuff that could have been dealt with easily.
I don't know if it can be solved. God will be that answer.
Don't do your family wrong, even as much as you love them, because they raised me with her since I was 4, and they still did me wrong growing up, and they still did me wrong today. You can't trust anyone in your family, but that doesn't mean don't do them wrong.
Because I never thought my family would do this to me.
Another great lesson in the dangers of co-signing anything for a car, for a dog, for a bank account, because I'm sure the great-grandmother plaintiff would not have accepted checks from her previous son-in-law, knowing his background and knowing, at least she would have asked the follow-up question. So I understand the daughter's position of, hey, I know what he's been involved in, I don't want to be involved, but if that's your stance, you can't benefit from taking checks that you know are probably dirty. So, and unfortunately, the grandmother didn't get a crash course from us on the dangers of co-signing on a bank account.
Because they can not only evidently go into your bank, that particular account, but they can attach any other account.
Like she had said, they drained all of her other accounts to fulfill the debt. So there's real dangers in co-signing, even with someone that you love, like your great-granddaughter.
Yeah.
Burke is suing her former friend, Freya Brown, for vandalizing her car and an assault.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 2186, Burke versus Brown.
Thank you. Ms. Burke, I understand that you and the defendant met when you were both in foster care.
Yes.
How old are you?
19.
And how old were you, if I can ask you these questions, if you're uncomfortable, please let me know. How old were you when you went into foster care?
16, I believe.
Were you originally placed in group homes?
Yes.
and through Orangewood Foundation, as well as transitional housing programs.
When did you start transitional housing from group homes?
I started that when I was 17. That was in 2021, where I was roommates with Freya, and we lived there.
Okay, and could you describe the facility where you were living?
We were living in Tustin, an apartment complex where they rent out the rooms and they have foster kids go in there and then they pay, well, they don't pay rent, but it's a transitional program to move up to the extended foster care transitional housing program for after you're 18. So it's better to be placed into this one, so it helps foundation towards the next one.
Towards total independence?
Yes.
And how long did you stay in that facility? Until when?
Like a few months after I turned 18, I got into the Costa Mesa transitional housing.
Okay, from Costa Mesa, do you go into any other facility through the foster care system, or are you then supposed to get a job and get on your own 2 feet?
So this program, the independent living program, it's really hard for foster kids to get into. You have to be set up with all the requirements. And so...
What kind of requirements? Are there academic requirements?
Yeah, academic requirements, working, going to school, meeting with the manager that comes in every week. Yes.
Were you going to school?
Yes.
What school were you going to?
Golden West College.
Are you still going to school?
Yes, I currently am taking a break from this semester, but I'm still going to continue it.
Are you working?
Yes.
And you living on your own?
I'm renting a room out in Irvine with 2 different roommates.
And Miss Brown, what about you? How long have you been in the foster care system, and how old are you now?
I've been in the foster care system since I was 13 years old. I am currently 19.
Tell me where you're living.
Right now, I live in a rented room in a house also in Irvine.
Tell me what you're doing.
Right now, I work in sales. I'm a sales associate.
Is it a full-time job?
It's part-time. I'm also in school. I go to Fullerton College, and I'm a biology major.
Interesting. Are you good in science?
I really liked science in high school, so yeah.
Well, you seem like 2 absolutely delightful ladies. I don't know why you got into this kerfuffle, but each one of you claim that you were assaulted by the other. You claim that Miss Brown caused vandalism to your car. Miss Brown says that you had her falsely arrested after this altercation, which seems to be an unhappy event over a guy.
Over a guy.
I mean, they're necessary evils, but over a guy. 2 lovely girls who probably weathered a lot of storms in your life to keep together that most 15, 16-year-olds don't have to do. How could 2 nice girls get into a kerfuffle over a guy?
I have no idea.
Go.
Okay, so on September 2nd, near 10 p.m., I was cooking us dinner, and Freya's sitting at the counter, and then while I'm cooking dinner, I get a call from my ex, and he's just...
From your ex-boyfriend, not ex-husband?
Oh, yes.
From your ex-boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay. And his name is, what's his first name?
I would prefer...
Let's call him Cat.
Cat, yeah. So
you get a call from Cat. Do you know Cat?
Personally, no, I do not know him.
Have you ever met him?
No, I have not.
Okay. So now you get a call from Cat. And how long has he been your ex-boyfriend?
Well, we just had a situationship, like it was just off and on, but he just called me and I just had him on the phone as speaker and...
So you had him on speakerphone, you're cooking her dinner, she's sitting at the counter.
Yeah, and he starts making flirtatious comments like saying if I had any cute friends near around, and I know it doesn't sound right, but...
It doesn't sound good, Miss Burke.
Yeah, but that's just like, I know him and that's like a different story, but regardless, then
So what was he... I want to know what he was saying.
Well,
you have to tell me, because she probably remembers what he was saying.
I do.
So if you don't remember, I'll ask her. What did he say?
He asked in general if I had any cute friends near me or any around. Just saying if there was any cute friends near me. So that he...
Okay, so your ex-boyfriend calls you and asks you if you have any cute friends around.
Yes.
And you didn't just hang up on him.
Well, yes. I told him, I said that I can't like see him tonight and that he shouldn't be saying that. But the call ended because he had to go because he had to go back to work. So it ended quick.
Wait just a second. He must have said something that annoyed her.
That was it. He just asked
what did he say? Okay. You don't remember. What did he say?
He called her. They were talking for a minute, and then she was saying, you know, oh, I miss you, this and that. And he was like, can I come over? At which point she told him, oh, I'm with my 2 friends. And he was like, oh, what do they look like? Are they cute? How old are they? Which I thought was disrespectful to me and also disrespectful to her. I was trying to be a good friend. I informed her of it. And
No, so he was acting like a guy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
think before you talk. There's no filter here. So he's saying, oh, really? You can't come over? You have 2 friends? Are they cute? Are they nice looking? And just to tell you, Miss Brown, I don't think it was disrespectful. I just think it's a stupid remark.
No,
Do you understand?
I understand,
It's
but
just stupid.
The tone and then the content, because it was on speaker, like I could hear everything. So
when he hung up, what did you say to her?
after they hung up, I didn't say anything to her. She said to me, she was like, you don't know him, you know, like we're in love.
And you said to her?
Basically saying, I don't know him. So I was like, yes, you're completely right. I don't know him, but I don't want to hang out with him, basically is what I told her.
Well, was he coming over?
No, I was just telling her, like.
And what's your version? After he hung up, let me hear your version of what she said.
Okay, so after I hung up, it was just practically some of what she said, but it was more in an aggressive way and with a lot of attitude. And
show me.
I get done with the phone and I'm cooking, and then she wants to like humble under her breath and like say like, I don't know, just rude things about the call and like just looking at me weird. And I'm like, what's the problem? And I was just,
Okay, so she's looking at you weird and you say, what's the problem? And she says,
I don't know. She was going off and about, and then she started throwing trash on my counter and then threw it at me.
Your Honor.
Yeah, you did.
That is not true.
No, I have to tell you something. So far, it makes sense. But then I don't want you to tell me she just went from nothing disrespect to throwing food around the counter. That didn't happen.
That did not.
Okay, so before she started throwing the trash on my counter, she was saying how that I had attitude, but I was telling her that I didn't have attitude. I was trying to de-escalate the situation by talking to her.
Attitude. So far, we're not attitude. So far, she's mumbling.
No, that's what
you
she
said under her breath.
Yeah, and then so she, I don't know, she would, like I said, it was a snap of a finger. Like, I'd never seen her switch like that. And, you know, I was confused. And then after she threw the trash, I told her to grab your stuff and get out of my house. And so I gave her time. She went in my room, grabbed her stuff. I waited by the door. I had it wide open. And she's just cursing and yelling and just like, I didn't want her in my house. And if I would have known she was like that.
No, let's not. Don't go down any tributaries. When you got out to the car, she had a brick in her hand. Was there any damage to the car?
Yes, I have photos, proof to the left driver's side, and there's a video as well of the neighbor's Ring camera showing her vandalizing my car.
Okay, I'll see the video.
Autumn Burke claims her former friend, Freya Brown, owes for vandalism and an assault. Freya is countersuing for an assault and filing a false police report.
There's a piece that I'm missing from this story, but let's say they're following your timeline. It probably makes sense as you got into an argument. You said to her, you know, he's really not that way. He's really a nice guy, and I love him. And she said, well, somebody who really loves you doesn't say, I want to come over and hang out with your 2 good-looking friends. That could escalate into something that's angry.
Your Honor. Well, the thing is, when she did mention those things, they weren't calm as you expressed.
Yes.
They weren't. They were very aggressive.
They could have been aggressive, but that's... They could have been aggressive.
I didn't see a reason why it should have been that way at all.
Listen, I'm not saying I agree with you or not. But I'm saying that common sense dictates to me that if you're on the phone with somebody that you still like and that you're an on-again, off-again, and you can't come over today because I have 2 friends here. Oh, really? You have 2 friends? Maybe I'll come over and hang out with your 2 friends. She found that disrespectful. I actually find it disrespectful to you and disrespectful to him. You really have nothing to do with it, Miss Brown. Somebody else was being a schlemiel.
No, I mean, I wasn't saying like...
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so now you tell her to get out, open her things. She's out the door, and?
Well, no, she's not out the door yet. So then I have the door wide open. She comes, and then we're still, like, argumenting, and I'm trying to get her out of my house. She pushes me, and then I go back into... Yes, it is. I go back into the door, and then she starts hitting on my arm, like, hitting me, so I'm, like, defending back, and it was just crazy. Like, didn't realize I had the door wide open for her to get out, like peacefully. And
Okay, so
that
she
didn't
pushes
happen.
you, she puts her hands on you, you put your hands on her, pushing. And up until that point, there's a lot of maybe pushing, touching the arms, touching the hand, but nobody is injured. Is that a fair statement, standing at the door?
Well, I got assaulted because I have the pictures to show that my nail came off.
No, I'm asking you a question.
Yes.
Up until that time, did your nail come off during that time?
Yes.
Was it a real nail or a fake nail?
Both of my nails came off. Like it was
on the same finger, you had a fake nail over your
real
nail.
And it both ripped off.
Okay, I'll take a look. Okay, I see a black and blue mark here that's under here. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes.
And this is on your hand.
Yes.
What was this?
From blocking her hitting me.
What was she hitting you with?
Just her hands. Like she was just like a cat fight. Like she just went crazy, and so I was defending her out, trying to get her out of my house.
Okay. Did you respond to her hitting you?
Yes.
Yes. Do you have any photographs?
Yes, I do have.
I'd like to take a look. So I see a scratch above your eye and a little bruise on this part of your hand. Is that what it is?
Yes, on my wrist.
And then there's a bruise on, is it this part of your elbow?
My elbow, yes.
Okay, so now you're arguing with each other. You both get banged up a little bit. Now she's outside.
Yes.
And what did you do? You finally got her out the front door.
So after a few minutes, she called me and said, "Warning, I'm at your car." So when I heard that, I called the cops immediately, and I asked them to come down because I think she's gonna be vandalizing my car or God knows what. And then so when that happened, me and my witness, Jasmine, we walked down out of my house because I wanted to go see like if my car, like what was going on. And so as I'm walking out, my car's parked over here. Freya's over here. And so when I'm walking out, then I meet her right here, and she has a brick in her hand. And yeah, she had a brick in her hand the whole time until the cops came, and then they arrested her, and they asked me if I wanted to file for assault and vandalization, and I said yes.
Okay, and when you got out to the car, she had a brick in her hand. Was there any damage to the car?
Yes, I have photos, proof to the left driver's side, and there's a video as well of the neighbor's Ring camera showing her vandalizing my car.
Yeah,
Oh,
let me see the damage, and then I'll see the video.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'll see the video.
Okay.
Okie dokie. That's where you were arrested, Miss Brown?
Yes.
Have you ever seen that video before?
I have not.
You have not?
No.
Okay. Can I see the estimates to the damage to your
ma'am.
car? Tell me when you bought this car.
I bought this car on August 1st in 2022. It was my first car. I paid for it full, all by myself.
You paid for it in cash?
Yes, and a check.
Okay. How long had you been saving for the car?
Oh, I've been saving for it for years, like a few years, ever since I've been working.
How much did you pay for it?
I paid a total of, I believe, $7,300 and something dollars.
Okay. So the estimate to fix the car is $3,777.
Yes, ma'am.
And the next thing is the price of the vehicle, for which you paid $7,350.
Yes.
Now, Ms. Brown, One would say to you as a result of seeing that video, temper, 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 you may have a temper, you can't do what you did. Would you acknowledge that you can't do what you did?
Yes, I acknowledge.
Great. So that means that you have to take care of this problem.
She hit me first, Your Honor.
And we're not talking about hitting.
I understand.
I'm talking about vandalizing a car. She says the weapon was a knife.
It was.
And the knife was being held by you.
Yes, that's
So you
self-defense.
took. No, it's not in self-defense anymore, madam. It's not self-defense. She's out. She's away from you.
Autumn Burke has accused her former friend, Freya Brown, of vandalism and assault. Freya claims Autumn threatened her with a knife and filed a false police report.
Neither one of you were hospitalized as a result of this assault. You got a couple of black and blue marks. Two girls
also
had a
threatened
fight,
me with a
and
knife.
that shouldn't have happened. But now the fight is de-escalated, and you went outside and purposely vandalized her car in a very, very aggressive way. And all I'm saying to you is, you understand that that was temper, temper, temper. You're not allowed to do that, and you have to pay for it.
She also threatened me with a knife.
She what?
Threatened me with a knife.
Just a second. I didn't see that when you were out there by yourself picking up a brick, right?
Yes.
And that was a long video. I don't see her in that video at all. I just see you picking up the brick, not doing enough damage, picking it up, doing a little more damage, picking it up, going to another side of the car, picking it up, going to the front of the car. I don't see her there threatening you.
She didn't threaten me at that point.
Right. Clearly, when you left the house, that ugly confrontation had been de-escalated.
It had not actually.
Of course it was, because you were out there by yourself. You could have gone. And if it was an ugly confrontation, you go to the police station and you say, I left my license in my friend's car. We had a fight. Could you come back with me on a standby and get my license instead of using a brick to bash in her car?
My circumstances were different from Autumn's. I would like to inform you of that.
What were your different circumstances?
Well, I was supposed to be moving in 3 days, which Autumn was aware of. So had I called the police and been like, oh, I need this help, then I would have jeopardized my housing.
Oh, no, that's not true. Sorry about that, Miss Brown. If you called the police and merely said to them, I don't want to have an argument with her, that would not have jeopardized your getting into housing. Having this fight and vandalizing her car, that could prevent you from getting into housing.
Got me kicked out.
I'm just telling you, calling the police is not an issue. Going outside and for a period of probably at least 60 seconds and moving from different parts of her car and hitting it with a brick and bending down and picking up the brick again, that would prevent you from getting into housing.
I wasn't referring to the calling the police, I meant the fighting.
Oh, I'm not talking about the fighting. $37.75, that's the cost of fixing the car. Now, the only other issue that you have on your counterclaim is for being falsely arrested.
Yes.
I would arrest you for that. You should be. Listen, if I came out of my house and found somebody bashing my property, I don't care if we had a long-standing feud. Well, I have a long-standing feud with her. We had an argument. We had a fight, whatever. That is not the natural progression of having an altercation with an old friend, going out and vandalizing her car. So your countersuit for being falsely arrested is dismissed. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,775.
Your Honor, I'm going to be rightfully for losing my housing during that process because of that incident, because of the transitional housing program I was in. I got kicked out of it, and so I had 30 days. So I believe I should be getting for that as well because
Where's the head of the Department of Social Services to testify before me that the reason you lost your housing, if in fact you did lose your housing, was because of this vandalism? You have a witness here to tell me that?
I have the 30 days notice, if that counts.
May?
Yes.
I'll take a look.
Oh, here it is.
This says, letters to give you written 30-day notice to move out of the transitional housing program. You were involved in a verbal physical altercation which involved a weapon with another individual and resulted in the police being called on September 1st, 2022. When you entered the program, you were informed and signed paperwork agreeing to our program rules and expectations. Who was it alleged that had the weapon?
She had a knife.
I bought it as self-defense. I dropped it right when I saw you.
Just a second.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Just a second. Well, just a second. She says the weapon was a knife.
It was.
And the knife was being held by you.
Yes, that's
So you took No, it's not in self-defense anymore, madam. It's not self-defense. She's out. She's away from you. Your choice is to call the police and wait. Your choice is not to pick up a knife, because so far, this altercation has been a lot of tussling between girls that shouldn't have happened, but so far, nothing involved a weapon. So you went outside with a knife. And according to the rules, you can't do that. And that was the reason that you lost your housing, because there's no other reason. It said it involved a weapon, and they listed the rules: drugs, alcohol, assault, danger, making threats. Well, you have a knife, that's threats, whatever. 3775, fix your car. You're not allowed to do that to her car. That's a hissy fit. Figure out how to do it. Your counterclaim's dismissed. You should have been arrested for vandalism. Goodbye.
This court is adjourned.
ਓਏ ਰਾਣੇ ਚਾਵਲ ਦੇ ਯਾਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ
जल्दी चला खेलते जाए जब